to the city secretary today.
Oh, okay, it's on.
He submitted it to the city secretary today?
Mhm.
No, ma'am, he did not. Are you gonna read it as a public comment?
It looks like it was addressed to you, Mayor.
Yes, let me,
Right, but what I'm telling you, it says, attention city secretary, it has not come here, or I would have reported to you that I received it, and I have not received any such thing.
okay.
So do you want to do it under public comment?
Okay, I guess we can go back to public comment because this has to do with the volunteer fire department. This says it's addressed to myself and the city secretary is supposed to have gotten a copy of it, but
Yeah, and where did it come from?
from Gary Smith, Commissioner's Office
Okay, who did Gary Smith give it to?
originally. Is this on an online?
How did it get here?
How did it
Yeah,
get here?
how did it get here?
you receive a copy of it?
He forwarded a copy to me because he knew I was on council.
Oh, he forwarded a copy to you?
Mm-hmm.
But your name is not on there.
Right.
No.
You
This
need
is
to
a
be careful
copy.
about what is our public records. It has to come to City Hall.
Well,
Your,
he had
your,
said it was on the
your
city
authority as a
secretary.
council person is in this room and not outside.
True, but that was his choice to do that.
You know what,
And
this
it's addressed to
basically,
the city secretary.
this basically says the same thing as what you just read me from the other guy.
Okay,
That one.
then I suggest at
Well,
the
I
current
don't know.
time, we don't put that into
Yeah.
public record until it's actually received by
Until you
the
actually
city
receive it
secretary.
to the city.
Till it actually comes through the proper channels.
Okay,
Yeah, it needs to be,
Okay. correct,
we have it.
that you have it.
Well, yeah, it needs to come to the city secretary.
Well, make a copy from the mayor then, I guess.
You have them.
Okay.
No, the copy
Okay,
you have.
okay.
You
I'm
have
not
it.
gonna argue the point, but I'll get it.
You're saying you have it or you couldn't have brought it.
Sure,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's addressed to her. I guess she would need a copy since she's the mayor.
I think it needs to come through
I don't
proper
know.
channels.
Sure, I guess you can. I don't know.
Get a copy for everybody, but it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, he did tell you he was sending it to the city secretary today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear for the record.
Well,
It was supposed to be sent to the secretary.
I can assure you that has not happened. Otherwise, again, Mayor, it would have been reported to you if I had received it.
Okay.
So you're not gonna read it off, you said?
No, I'm not gonna read it because it's not on the agenda and,
No, I don't know, we were talking about the fire issue, were we not?
but it says basically the same thing as what these gentlemen have already said.
Well, we've already passed it,
So,
Ms. Bernardi, just because it can't be on the agenda at this particular time, doesn't mean it can't be on
it'll be
a
on future agendas.
future agenda. We just need to make sure when information comes into City Hall, that it comes to the proper channels,
Sure.
and that the administration and the council is not blindsided by letters that just pop up from
Sure.
individual
I would
people.
say maybe you wanna address that with Commissioner Smith, maybe that would help that communication.
Yes,
I think I'd be happy to do that.
yes.
That's
That would be
good.
good.
Okay. Alright,
We're gonna move on. I lost where we were at, that was in the fire reports, was it not? Received financials for July, August, September 2025 as presented to the USDA. Council has those in their possession at this time. Are now public information, so the public is aware, can be aware of these as well. And you said the other ones for,
October, November, December?
Yeah, they weren't finished by council time.
okay. So they should be ready for the next meeting. by the
Yes,
next
ma'am.
meeting For sure,
Yes, ma'am, I feel pretty confident they will be.
okay. Do we have any questions at this time? Okay. let's move on. Received from Mayor USDA. Update report, I have absolutely nothing because there's been 0 meetings. I had 0 contact with USDA. So we're gonna move on to E, received from the city attorney, her USDA and SAU update report. If you would be so kind as to stand up so we can hear you, please.
I would prefer to sit if I may. My back is not happy.
Oh,
Sit up
okay,
there on that
okay,
side
can you
so we
sit
can
over
see
here
you.
so we can?
I
hear
can
you?
sit over there if you prefer.
Yes, ma'am, so
That way you
we
can
can
see.
hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
When last I addressed the council, which I think was in October, there were some significant financial things that were happening between the city and SAU, resulting from the USDA having a complete financial platform restructuring, and I believe that's where I had left it with y'all. October, SAU, USDA were all on furlough as a result of the federal government shutdown. And they didn't come back until, I think we started hearing from them again in November, when they came off furlough. At that time, we were informed, I was informed, and the city administrator was informed, that the errors were theirs. They accepted that. They offered and that offer was accepted, that their penalties and interest for the period starting in July through the November would be waived. Very good stuff for the city, considering that loan accumulates at like $1.65 a day. Ms. Burwell is the person with whom I've been communicating. She indicated that she wanted the city to continue with the 2013 workout agreement payments. To my knowledge, that has been in full compliance. There's another balloon payment coming in February. All of the payments that the city has made have been accounted for according to what she has listed in her email with me. However, you may recall that starting over a year ago now, I have been specifically asking the USDA to give the city a full accounting, a full workup with the running balance and any fees and interest or anything else showing line by line, and we did get something. However, the material that they supplied for the years 2021, 2022, and 2023, is that right, Rhonda? Those 3 years? 2021, 2022, and 2023 are Framitz. They show a balance that is like $400,000 less on 1 month, and it pops back up on the next month, and they're showing interest paid that doesn't track between the 3 months. And so city administrator and I have referred that to, thank you, the city administrator and I have referred that to the finance team to see if they can figure it out, just what has happened. What it looks like is kind of like the 2020 election, when certain numbers disappeared from one candidate and appeared for another candidate. It's sort of the same thing that I'm seeing, is the numbers have disappeared for a month and then they come back the next month.
And can I interject real quick? Once they reviewed that documentation, it'll be presented to the council in the same fashion that we received it from them.
Okay.
But I noted that right away. I noted a number of other discrepancies in which the USDA basically reversed monthly $1,800 payments and then added 1,800 and subtracted 1,800. It is not a clean, clear accounting that would in any case meet generally accepted accounting principles. So I wanted to let you know that. The good news is they presently have told the city to continue to make the monthly payment and to continue to make the 2 balloon payments. So I'm thinking, hopefully, that with the interest and penalties dropped from basically August through December, that's going to help the city out a fair bit. Certainly not going to meet what we were hoping for in getting a new bond up, but it will help.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you tell me what that was called? Is it just this is the financial information that you began requesting back in,
Over a year ago.
okay,
I
you're
asked-
familiar with that?
I asked Clyde Payne for it. We all know that he's working with SAU. I asked him for it. He shuffled it off to Jerry Moore. Jerry Moore provided us, and you all have seen that one, the printout that looks like it came off of an ancient, and they told us it was an ancient accounting program, but it looks like it came off the little hole punch thing that prints back and forth and rolls by the hole punches on the sides of the page.
And it's this wide.
Right.
Remember those?
Right, it's very wide. That has been all this time trying to get it, and it is completely insufficient. Once finance team gets through an analysis of it, and that's gonna take time. This is like, it was 23 pages when we got the first inefficient product. So this is longer.
Set up slightly differently.
Yes,
But it's still insufficient.
it's still insufficient.
Thus
to
far, we know that it doesn't look right, but like I said, the council, after they get through reviewing it, that should be on your next agenda.
We're hoping.
Yeah, that you should receive that.
Because please remember that the financial team not only is going to try to decipher this very peculiar series of pages, but also still is trying to get the new accounting platform to work properly for the city's needs. And that's been an ongoing struggle. It's been a tremendous fight. I believe, and I can't promise, of course, I don't have the future. God didn't give me that, but I believe that within the next 2 council meetings, council should have audits. And I don't know how many, I don't know what years specifically. I know that I have looked at information supplied as a worksheet, so it's not a public record, it's just an ongoing draft worksheet that may supply the audit. But the USDA, I was floored. I was very dismayed.
Did you explain to them, because I was out of the room for a minute, did you explain to them everything about the PAD agreement?
We were talking about the PAD agreement back in October. Now what had happened was the PAD agreement, which is, it's a payment by automatic withdrawal, okay, automatic draft, PAD. So what had happened was when they did their accounting platform change, they dropped the PAD agreement and they were not doing their monthly $1,800 withdrawals. City secretary caught it, and she caught it right after they didn't do it, so basically 30 days later. She caught it, and we went to Ms. Burwell and explained the situation to her.
I think the mayor was in that meeting.
I believe so.
Yes.
But the other council members were not. So we spoke with Ms. Burwell and tried to start figuring out what happened. What happened was they changed their platform and it got dropped from the process. So then they wanted the USDA unilaterally, all by itself, without telling anybody anything, decided that they were going to pull what ended up being 3 monthly payments out through the pad. The bank caught it because the bank has a specific contract that they're required to follow, and when it was over the 1,800, the bank was like, we're refusing the payment altogether. So, not refusing the ongoing monthly, but refusing that balloon. So they refused it, we found out what had happened, we started getting things straightened out, and then furlough hit. Okay, federal government shutdown. So they were unreachable, and I think that's where I left it with y'all the last time was, I'll let you know when we can communicate with them again. Okay, so they came back from being shut down, and we arranged with the bank and them to, city secretary, while they were on furlough, she wrote them a check for the amount that was outstanding for the 3 months, or the 1,800 for 3 months, plus the August balloon payment. Okay, she sent that to them. They were on furlough. It didn't get processed. It was just, So, we finally got all of that straightened out to the point that Ms. Burwell said, okay, for December, you guys have already paid December. She's telling us this in November. You guys have already paid for December because we pulled the money for one of those months. So
Just because they were on furlough, we didn't wanna miss,
yeah,
you know.
the city was trying real hard to show good faith and cooperation, and they weren't there to do it. So, the end result was that by November 15th, the city had paid also December. So Ms. Burwell said, okay, we're gonna put a hold on your pad withdrawal so that until January, so that when things come back online, then you're gonna be making your regular payment in January. In February, you'll make your regular payment plus your balloon, and so that has now, apparently, hopefully, been all straightened out. But just trying to make sure that city council knows that nobody did anything wrong in this city. It was all a result of USDA changing their accounting platform, which was the accounting platform that generated the garbage, the stuff, the document that Ms. Burwell sent to me that is indecipherable. So that's the accounting program that did that. It's a little bit more information. In my mind, it's not sufficient. And I don't think anybody who is able to even look at numbers will be able to figure out just what they've done, except that they dropped a bunch off of the principal for 1 month and added it back in the next month. They added a bunch of interest in 1 month and took it all away again the next month. So, finance team is working on that, and that's gonna take some time because it's just a mess. To be able to figure it out. Once the finance team has figured it out, city administrator and I will be communicating with Ms. Burwell to point out the problems that, yet again, their finance program change appears to have caused. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm not sure I can answer them, but I'm certainly willing to try.
Does council have any questions at this time? No questions.
Okay, so
Thank
we're
you.
basically we're back on track.
We're on track.
We just don't know, we cannot vet the document. We can't compare it with what the city records show.
But we're still on hold, we're trying to work things out with them.
Nothing has happened. Now, the last we heard about that was that Mr. Payne said, we're gonna send you a demand letter and we're gonna refer you to the Department of Justice for not having this paid.
That's the last thing.
I think you may have missed
Months
that.
ago.
You may have had to miss
That
that.
was like November. or
That was October.
October?
Yeah, it was in October.
Yeah, right
Now, the city has not received any such communication,
Mhm.
okay?
here.
Miss Burwell, who apparently is Mr. Payne's supervisor, she's like regional or something, so, I mean, she's definitely has greater,
Do we know if he's?
she's higher up the ladder than he is.
I'm sorry, what?
What was that?
I said, do we even know if he's still employed?
He is still getting copies of the email.
Right, as far as we know, he's still there.
Has the city sent the USDA copies of all the receipts that we actually have, all the records that we have on the payments, just out of curiosity? To
Until
match their
we're,
pay, so they can match to what we have.
that will be the next step in endeavor. The first thing is to try to figure out their document. Okay, the next step is to pull records and compare, okay?
Yeah, cause we need to make sure they know what we have.
Yeah, I know that when we were first meeting with them, like, I'll say first, within the first year, we supplied them with everything. I mean, it was lists and lists and lists and lists of information.
Every couple of weeks, there was another request and with a deadline.
Right.
Let's start back in.
So, and that's the one thing we have done. We've stayed on track with whatever they asked. I think we missed one of the deadlines because there was, like,
Electronics, it was,
yeah, like the
Yeah,
computer
the
stuff was
system
like
went
all
down.
crashing,
Yeah.
not just here, but like all over the place.
Yeah.
We're having
I
problems.
remember that.
Said something to do with the budget, I believe.
But
so.
they did eventually get that too, just
Yeah.
slightly delayed from,
Yeah, they wanted it by, I think it was May 15th or May 31st, and they
Gosh, I
got it
don't
like
remember. There's
around
been so many
June 15th,
deadlines.
something like that. Yeah, Mr. Payne likes to impose deadlines.
yeah.
But Ms. Burwell, as I say, she appears to be higher up the administrative ladder than he, and she has, I have email, it's in writing, continue with your pad agreement and your semi-annuals.
Right, so next month, we're set for one of the balloon payments. Isn't that right? August and February?
24,000, isn't it?
$24,420.
So,
And
that's.
of course, we'll report to council when that's done.
Sure.
The only thing I have to add to that is, Ms. Burwell had told us months back, after the furlough had ended, that Mr. Payne would be in touch with us if he intended to reschedule their meetings. As of this date,
No
we have
reschedule,
not heard
anything from him.
anything about that.
Okay.
So in the meantime, we're still doing our reporting to them that we're supposed to do, making our payments to them. They haven't asked any additional information outside of what we, just stay on track doing.
So the city is in good faith compliance. Okay, once finance team is able to try to decipher those documents, it will take. Now, I wanna advise the city. The bank has said that for the city to acquire all the past records showing those payments is gonna cost the city, what was it, like 2,000?
A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
It
A
was more
lot
than-
of money.
It was more than 2,000.
Okay, yeah, so maybe I misspoke.
They
So,
weren't sure that they could pull them all archives, because I guess we're talking about back from 2007 when the city started paying.
that's what we would like to get, okay, so it would be a substantial amount. The better endeavor, but it will also be expensive for the city, is for city personnel to dig into the city's records and see what we can come up with to compare. And bank statements, the city gets printed bank statements, so, see if we can compare, but again, we're going back 20 years,
Yeah, it's 20 years worth of payments.
So
so,
there's a lot of things that we don't know if the records still exist, that were long gone before
there
we
are,
became aware.
there are a lot of city original records that have disappeared prior to this city administrator and prior to this city secretary. They're just
There's
finding.
a lot of records that went back in the back that got destroyed by storage, let's just put it that way, by storage.
Right, so we don't know
Lost
what
a
we're
lot of
gonna be able to
records back
find, but that vetting will take months. Because
Well, we've
people
been looking all
have their
along.
regular stuff to do for the city
Right.
as well, and it's a 3-day work week.
Well, maybe we need to have the council decide whether, or we need to
Un-
figure out which way it would be more economical for the city to actually pay the 2,000 for the bank to do it.
Well,
or see
I
if the
misspoke,
city-
it's not
She-
gonna be
she-
2,000.
She needs to check that number again, cause I don't think that was correct.
That's-
Yeah, I think that I had two numbers from that same period of time, one was like 6,800 and the
Well,
other
if you'll
was,
check again, so
Yeah.
we'll actually know
Right.
Yeah.
next time. I wasn't prepared to even, I hadn't even thought about that.
I gasped when I saw it.
Until,
Mhm.
I was like,
until she mentioned it
Well,
just
I
now.
know for 2 years, so then you can go back to that and get that for 2 years for.
right, but how long is the
Yeah,
bank
but we're
required to
talking
maintain
2027.
records?
We're
Yeah.
close to 20 years.
Yeah, we got 20
Yeah.
years worth on this.
So those are issues that are still in the wings that we're gonna try to work out as economically and as expediently. And one apparently doesn't balance well with the other, so you've got two sides of the balance scale there.
Yeah, we can also check again, to find out if there's anything else that we didn't get or we didn't know to ask for, if they would have related to that.
Okay.
And hopefully we won't have to wait as long as we had to wait this time.
But I'm not forecasting this to be really under wing and resolved. I don't really think that's gonna happen for 4 to 6 months on the easy side. Just because there's so much.
Possibly longer.
It easily could be,
That's close to 20 years worth of.
yeah.
Well, like she said, the good news is we haven't received
But
any,
the city does have accurate records
any
for a
letters
certain
or
length
any-
of time that we could pull,
That's still
that
a
we could
lot.
get. I know it's a lot, but these are easy access and then deal with what we don't have. Figure out
Potentially,
how to deal with that,
potentially.
yes.
yeah.
So we're not letting it go. We are not gonna let it go.
Because we need to have the answers, especially hoping that they don't just, shut that window.
Mhm.
So the city would have an opportunity to go back to the table again.
Here's
But
an-
there's no promise of that.
Here's another thing that I saw in the records that we were supplied through Mr. Moore and more recently by Ms. Burwell, and I've seen it in both sets of records. There's a payment due date. There's a payment posting date,
Yes, and they're different.
okay? And I think USDA accumulates interest until it posts, regardless of when they receive it.
Right.
Which is
I
wrong.
didn't hear you mention
Yes,
that,
needs to be looked into
that
as
little
well.
fact right there, what she was just talking about.
You've mentioned that
That could
before.
add up.
That Miss Burwell, you're gonna have to remind me, cause I've slept since then, but Miss Burwell was asking about some other office that we would have sent those payments to, and we're like,
Oh yeah,
we
St.
have
Louis.
always, from, as far as I know, day one, everything has gone to that McKinney office, so we followed suit, didn't know there was any other office, and.
They routed the city's payments to the St. Louis office, which that's delay, that's interest.
That's a huge delay, and what was the length of time she said it would take it to get there?
Months.
Yeah.
Months
That's
to get there and be processed.
insanity.
Meanwhile, interest
Well, that's what I
accumulates.
thought.
That doesn't seem right to me.
No.
Now, one
No.
thing she did do is she went ahead and processed everything and agreed to waive any interest, cause it was 100% their fault.
Mhm.
And they're conceding that it was,
Mhm.
so they did not charge us that. But the problem is still the same, just in the records that we know of.
Mhm.
But if we're making a payment on this day, and it's not being processed until the following month, or 2 months down the line, which we did see in the previous records that you guys were provided, but they were charging those penalties and interest is what we believe has been happening. And that's definitely not just.
Now, I wanna share one more fact with the council. And this happens in my practice occasionally. But if I need to send something outside the local Quinlan area, let's say I need to send it to Rockwall or to Dallas, okay? It has to go into Coppell to the USPS distribution center in Coppell. Okay? I had a signed greenie, a certified receipt that my client sent to me in the first part of April that I did not receive until mid-June. Okay, so that's another potential problem with these issues is, okay, so if they've gotta send it from McKinney to St. Louis, just the mail time, if it goes through the Coppell Distribution Center, chances are good that it's gonna be months before it ever gets to St. Louis.
Right, and I've never heard of that before. Like I said, everything that's ever happened
You
since I've
think
been
anything
involved, we went to the
electronic and
McKinney.
digital should go, as soon as it's sent, it should be counted from the time it's sent, like the $1,800 a month that should be,
Well, it should
Just
be,
as
but
soon
the
as
problem, the problem is, they're using the pad agreement and drawing it out, but they're not processing it at that
No.
same time that now that could
So
change.
between the mailing, okay, and city administration has taken things directly by hand to McKinney, okay? And gotten a signed receipt
Absolutely.
that they deposit, they left that check or whatever with them on that day, okay? It still doesn't process.
Right, because when we paid those other payments before, you know, with the pad agreement, because they had not drawn it out, and we wanted to make sure that we were on track. So we sent it like we were supposed to. It went to the McKinney office, and it sat there until she contacted us, which is why, you know, we wanted to make sure, look, here it is, here's the record, we sent it on this day. It was still sitting in the McKinney office, and she had to verify its receipt because she was saying, well, where did you send it? Well, we sent it where we always send it. We sent it to the McKinney office.
Well, they've been out on furlough, it went to St. Louis.
Right.
You gotta be freaking.
From the McKinney office after.
there's something very wrong about all that.
That
Yeah,
is
it doesn't sound right at all.
Mm-mm.
We're just,
So we will continue to look for methods by which we can cut that processing time.
other avenues.
In other words, let's say for example, if it, at $5 a shot certified mail, okay, for an envelope, or priority overnight is, I think it's 30 now. That runs into some cost. But I think the city was paying more in interest while we're waiting for the mail to process and then them to process it. So it might potentially be an advantage to the city to go ahead and send those and then get the greenie back when it comes through Coppell distribution. Get the greenie back, the signed greenie that says this is the day it was received on. Compare it with
The day that it was
what
processed.
should be the ongoing ledger now with their new accounting system, accounting platform, and say, no, that's not right. You received it on this day. That's the day we need to have the interest off.
right, does the council remember what the number is that the city of Hawk Cove is paying in interest per day because of this delinquent debt?
It's $1.60 something a day, isn't it?
It's higher than that. Anybody remember that specific number?
I don't
Becky,
know
do you remember that number?
What it was.
I think I had said it was $1.65, but I'm not sure.
I thought it was 100, I wanna say it's 162.50 a day or 150.
You may be more accurate. That does.
Yeah,
stick
it's a
out.
lot.
That does sound
Yeah.
right.
Is that
I
about
remember it
right?
was high.
Slide that button up.
Like
Just slide it up.
$60,000 a year.
Well, we've said it before, and Mr. Payne has said it a multitude of times, reminding us, and I believe it's 162.50
I think you're right, and I misspoke.
or
I
somewhere in there.
apologize.
That's a lot of money
Earlier.
per day,
Something inside,
taxpayer money.
It's about $60,000 a year
it's ridiculous.
that we're paying in penalties and we're paying.
Yeah, and I
Which
don't
is-
disagree.
which is the interest they wanna roll into a new bond.
Yeah, and we don't need to do that. And we
Well-
don't need to agree to pay something we don't really owe.
We
We need to
need,
get all the facts.
what I would like to see is, and maybe
I
Ms.
agree with you.
Burwell will be more cooperative with the issue, okay? Certainly Mr. Payne has not been. But what I would like to see is USDA, we know that you have delayed processing, whether it's intentional or not, it's still been delayed, and we're stuck with the interest at $165 a day. We want you to forgive the back interest and just let us go at this.
Right, what was the
That's what-
document called that they requested from us?
But that's the thing, they can't even prove any of that. They can't even give us actual findings.
Right, they
Do
don't
you
even know
remember,
for sure
Dottie?
what we owe.
I'm
What?
sorry, Mayor, do you remember what the document was that they requested that we do? It was a special servicing
Oh yeah, a special service
Special
request,
servicing request.
and that was in there. Y'all
Okay.
got copies.
Yes, y'all got copies of it. To this day, they have never acknowledged even receiving it.
No
And
response.
that was the document where we were asking, you know,
Forgive the interest.
to get
Oh,
this right.
okay. I'm back with you,
Remember,
sorry.
it was a special
Yeah.
servicing
We lose you for a
request.
bit.
And I worked really hard to put that thing together,
Right,
with some help, some from the financial team, but, mostly out of the skeleton for it and everything. It wasn't easy, but
and we
they,
turned it in
We
and they
spent-
act like it never
yes,
even
ma'am.
happened.
We turned it in.
We
and
spent
they-
2 weeks working on that sucker.
I know, and they've never acknowledged receiving it to this day. So that's a question that we have. We have a lot of questions, so we don't know when, or if they're willing to come back to the table with us. We're gonna continue, just as if they are, because we need to be on track, making those payments, sending them the information. At the current time, we're still operating under the 2013 workout agreement. They've never changed anything from that point. Now, he said it's expired, but if they're still accepting it and we've worked off of it for at least the last 2.5 years, then it's still in effect, or they wouldn't be still
Well,
following.
I
That's
don't know
another
just where
issue.
they're gonna come up with a number of what we owe if they don't know what we owe.
Well, that's another issue. They're
You're right.
saying that the
That's the
20,
problem.
They're gonna make up a number and say this is what you owe?
they're saying
I
the
wanna see
2013 workout agreement has expired.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes.
There
Expired a long
is
time ago.
no language in that agreement of an expiration date. They're saying it is their policy that they expire. City has had no notice of that policy prior to, during, or since.
Right, and if y'all remember, we didn't even know, and Ms. Bernardi could attest to this, we were at the table with the USDA back in 2019. Nobody ever made mention of a 2013 workout agreement.
Mm-mm.
We did not know it until
February
or
last
March of 2024.
Yeah, 24, you're right.
Yeah, 2024, when they first said they wanna come, you know, open
Come
the
out and
door.
see us
Well,
and,
the 2013 workout agreement, we failed to follow through in 2014, so that kind of bore you out right there.
Well, that
They
could
They
be,
picked it
And
back
every-
up and redid it.
Every payment that we've ever made is going into their,
right.
we're not getting credit for anything.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the 2013, the
Well,
first
we're just
any
not-
of us knew about getting to the table with them was when we were able to get to the table in 2019.
right.
Then it didn't happen again until 2024. What I'm saying is between 2019 and 2024, nobody knew that there was in existence a 2013 workout agreement until Mr. Payne told us in one of the special assets unit meetings. And we were all dumbfounded, and he said, oh, no worries, I'll send you a copy of it, and he did.
Another issue. The PAD agreement is an auto withdrawal, an auto draft,
Mhm.
okay? Payment auto draft, PAD. It's set to go on the 15th of each month. They still aren't processing those on the 15th of the month.
But they're pulling them out and that they're not processing them, and that doesn't make any sense at all.
And the city gets hit with the
That's-
interest.
No.
Right, and that's
That's a
one of
no.
the challenges that, that we need to see if they can work those things out with us. And like I said, that's even if they're even willing to come back and talk to us again. We don't know the answer.
Well,
Right,
we
as far-
have to be real to know that every payment we ever give them is going nowhere, except into the government. it's not, we're not getting credit for anything we paid in because we've continued to be in default for over 10 years.
Yes.
So, they're not gonna, every penny we give them is going straight to the government, we're not getting credit for any of it. And
It
that's
certainly
because we've
looks
been
that
in
way,
default.
Ms. Bernardi, it looks that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
We continue to be in
Minnesota comes to
default.
mind.
Oh, God, don't go there.
So
Okay.
these are some of the issues, and we continually try to, remember them, keep them, we've got a list of these issues. They're in the special,
Asset unit.
no, the letter that was
Oh,
requested.
the servicing, special servicing request.
Request, okay,
Remember I told y'all when I gave you that, when I passed that out to the council, hang on to that special servicing request, it's going to come up again. I definitely think that the city of Hawk Cove should ask, what is the status? Have you guys read it? Did you receive it? I know they received it, I know for a fact they received it, and I know we did it.
Well, I never got it, I didn't get a copy of it.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
everybody
I
did.
got
We
it.
all got
We
it.
got a
Yeah,
copy
you
of
did.
the servicing request.
Yes,
It's a,
Was it in a council session we got
Yes,
it?
Yes.
ma'am.
it was in the council
When
session, it
was
was in the
this?
packet.
Actually, it would have been June, probably the council session of, the end of June 2025.
Well, I knew it was talked about, but I don't have it.
yeah, no, you have it.
So,
Everybody has it.
we're trying to keep you all informed and advised.
But you might
We're not
wanna
sure where
refresh
this is
yourself
all-
and find it, because at some point, we need to address it with
Why I
the
needed to take it.
USDA and the special assets unit.
And I think everybody on the council got a copy of what Clyde Payne sent out for what they wanted to re-amortize, to refund.
Right.
Everybody got a copy of that,
His
and,
proposal,
that's,
yeah, and at the moment, you have, you have everything that we have, except the newest thing that came out that they're going through right now, trying to make some sense of it.
Mhm.
But at the next council session, you will have that. That's gonna be what we've been
Hopefully.
waiting for since April. Yeah, there's
yeah.
no reason not to give it to the council.
No, I don't have any reason not to give it to
So-
the council, except it's disturbingly complex and confusing and inaccurate.
We done?
Okay.
That's the thing.
All right, I think that's it.
Does council have any further questions at this time? We move on to item F. This is to report, acknowledge the automatic vacancy of city council place 4 pursuant to Texas. Thank you, please take over.
Pursuant to Texas Election Code
Thank you,
section,
yes, sir.
okay, I
So
thought,
I report and acknowledge the automatic vacancy in city council place 4 pursuant to Texas Election Code section 201.022 following the passing of council member Mark Diat on December 12th, 2025.
Sorry, y'all.
You're all right.
That's fine.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
So I think everyone is aware of his passing. I think we all in agreement of that. I think city administration's all aware of that. And we know that we're now into a new election term for 2026, and his spot was and
It will be vacant.
will be available.
I mean, it will be on
available
the
for the
next election.
2026 election. Yes. Ms.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
may I clarify for a minute?
The only reason that, I put it on the agenda is because the council, yeah, it has to be announced, the council
Right.
has to acknowledge it, because as per the election code, on the day of his passing, the state already vacated the seat. So that's why the council doesn't have to do anything other than acknowledge it, so.
Right.
I apologize, Mayor, because I know that very much upset you.
Well,
So that's why that had to be
close to
there.
heart, but we also have to acknowledge that and
Yes,
move
ma'am.
forward in due process of what we need to do, so.
It's an unfortunate part of the process.
Yes,
Okay.
So,
And his seat is open for, at this point, for
If you don't mind, we'll continue council executive session. We have no executive session,
may I ask a question,
and
please?
consider.
It's not on this agenda. The next agenda is February. The election is in May. Council should probably consider whether you want on the agenda a selection. Or do you want to leave the position vacant?
I think we should go ahead and, put it on the agenda for a selection for someone to fill that spot, even though it is almost time for the election, I believe. And it needs to go out in public so that the public can send it to the city hall that they would like to be considered. Don't know that they need their name actually on a list, just be here for that meeting.
Well, they probably should submit letters of request.
Okay.
I would think that that would be appropriate. That way the council has a record.
Yeah, we typically never done it, and I didn't wanna broach it this time.
Yeah, it's a very, very sensitive subject, and I'm very sorry that we need to do this, but we do need to do it.
Right, because as you can see, we had to wait for Brandon because Miss Logan being ill.
Right.
So.
And
I
you wouldn't have
believe
had a
we
quorum
need
without it.
Council member in here.
She hurried.
So,
Yes, I know she did.
she does good. I believe that, and we can't vote on it, okay, it's a recommendation.
You're not even supposed to be talking about it, actually. But-
Well, we're talking about it in connection with report and acknowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
So, perhaps for the next council meeting, we can,
Yeah, I'll work it out with the mayor.
okay.
Okay. Alright, consider executive session, there was none, does anybody have announcements?
Yes. It's gonna be snowing this weekend.
Yes, it is,
Oh, yeah.
everybody
Alright.
stay warm.
And pretty much every night is gonna be a drippy faucet night. Please try to remember, save yourself the expense of new plumbing. And if you haven't already pulled out your winters, you might want to, because they were telling us in October that January and February were going to be brutal winters, brutal winter months. We've been spared that with some really excellent
have
weather.
another
It's confused my plants. My roses are trying to bloom. There's buds on the trees, so, but, just try to buck up and stay warm. Look after the elders and the kids, please.
Yes,
Make sure
ma'am.
everybody's gonna be able to stay warm.
So we do still have some hats and gloves for younger kids. We don't have any more adult stuff, but we also still have blankets. So if anybody needs them, let me know, or the city administrator, and we'll get them to whoever needs them.
That's a good use of Facebook.
Preferably before Friday. So
Right.
if they are aware, because I personally don't want to get out either. So
That reminds me too, we also have a little bit of canned items left. If somebody knows somebody that needs them, let us know so that we can get them to them.
Not only for y'all, but remember your vehicles, they have something called freeze plugs in them. If you don't have antifreeze, in your engine, or in your radiator, you can blow freeze plugs and then you're got bigger trouble. So check your radiator for antifreeze.
Sorry, I'm interrupt. So, Mr. Rutherford, were you, according to what we're just freely talking out there, but, coming back to discuss like the coverage that your department handles for Hawk Cove, so we can have a little more detail and council be able to ask you questions? You're going to be on the request the next agenda, or what was your?
If you guys wanna put it on the next agenda, I'm more than happy to be here, and depending on when it is, I know Ryan is out of town for the next 2 weeks, I believe it's the first time since I've known that man, he's taking a vacation. So I think he's out for 2 weeks, but I can line up, the chair of the board for the redistricting committee, I can have him here as well. If somebody can just give me the date and the time.
I think I saw some
It's always the third
confusion.
Tuesday, 6:30.
Yeah.
And
Who
if y'all
knows
want it
About
on your
who-
agenda, I
like,
mean,
who's
it's up to
covered
you.
on what side of town, like
Right.
New
So
Brunswick,
Geoff
whatever.
Morgan is,
Okay, we're going too far.
Oh.
We're off
Yeah,
agenda
right.
now.
I'll
Right.
just
We're off
say,
agenda.
but
it
yes,
will- it
if you can give me
will-
the information, I'll have them here.
Yeah, you'll have an opportunity,
Okay.
we just can't do it at this
Can I
meeting.
get a motion to adjourn?
a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second, Randy.
Sorry, who
All
motioned?
those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, who
This-
motion?
I've already got a motion from Becky and a second from Randy. And this meeting is now called at 7:46 on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. And we thank you all.